Well, hello there, gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the Killer Gamer. And Fat Bear, how you doing? Glad you liked the music there. That was called Cave Crawlers. That is from my Polyworld Forever soundtrack. The Polyworld Forever is a series that I'm doing with Minecraft, where I am going from the pre-classic release, going through classic, and in-dev, inf-dev, alpha, beta, through releases and stuff, and I am patching together all these different little terrain generator things, so it's kind of a big deal to me, and I'm building this fantastic world that I'm doing, and I'm making lore and story. It's got a history and everything. So I've been making this soundtrack with the help of AI. Okay, I didn't compose it, but I did come up with the prompts and stuff that I needed to get what I was looking for, and that's pretty much what it is. And I got a variety of different stuff, and it's become a very big passion project of mine. Who else we got here? Rimple, how are you doing? RP Sims, howdy. Good to see you again. How is my day going? I'm glad you asked. I brought the pretzels this time. I got the pretzels. But that's not all. This is heavier than I thought. It's the new computer. This is the Ryzen 9 computer that I was telling you folks about. 1 terabyte of space storage, 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's got a Ryzen 590, 950 graphics card, or not graphics card, graphics chip, one of those two things. But most importantly, it's got an Oculink port that allows you to hook up to a docking station where you can plug in a real graphics card. So you can plug in an RTX 4070, 50, whatever, and you can basically turn that little mini PC into a freaking gaming monster. I've seen reviews, and actually it does really well on its own, but and it will do Flight Sim 2020 and 2024 just fine. But if you wanted to give it that extra oomph and stuff, you can actually add a graphics card to it. It especially would be good. It'll be good for those games where you want to have everything on high-res graphics and maxed out and stuff. That's where it's going to be good at. Oh, but yeah. Rimple, question, are you running a Commodore 64 emulator? Yes, I am. This is Vice, the Vice emulator. And I think I'm using the C64 color scheme, because I like the color scheme and that's the one that I used to use before, was CCS64. But I've grown to like Vice, so okay. Are you all ready for a flight that I've been wanting to do on this channel for years? I've been wanting to do this for years, and that's flying in Europe on SubLogic Flight Simulator II. Now, I've done it for real back in the day, but I have not done it on this channel. It was originally planned with the Killer Gamers World Tour that I was going to be kind of cycling around, and then I would use SubLogic Jet to fly across the water, and then load up the scenery and land over there. That was the original idea, but I kind of got away from doing the tour because I don't know, it just really wasn't getting the attention that I was hoping for. But I decided, you know what, I want to do a separate flight. I want to actually do this European thing. I've been wanting to do it for a while. The same thing with Japan. I've been wanting to do that, and Hawaii. Those scenery discs for Flight Simulator. And they're also available for the Amiga as well, and I've been thinking about that also. Rimple, you joined my Discord. It seems it's not maintained and plans to. Yeah. I've never been the greatest as far as organizing the Discord. I had gotten it started, and I was kind of starting something with it, and people just weren't using it. They just weren't showing up. But I do have people messaging me on Discord. So if you ever want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me through Discord. So I have been using it for that. Yeah, any plans? Yeah. I do have some, topics started as far as people giving ideas and stuff. What I need to do, since I've now kind of expanded the Killer Empire, it's not just Killer TV now. Now there's Killer Cubes for Minecraft, there's Killer Flights for Flight Simulator, Killer Sports, all this stuff that I was cramming into this channel, which wasn't doing anyone any favors. I now have 10 channels. So what I need to do is split all that and have it on the Discord, so that way you can go to the channel that the topic that you like, and you can talk about it. We can show screenshots and all kinds of stuff. So if people want to get involved in Discord, I can certainly do that. There wasn't really much interest before, but I'm not against giving it a little kickstart again, if people want to be a part of that. And it would be great if I can get some folks who watch the other channels over there too, but I think the most that I'm going to be able to get is Killer TV, Killer Flights, maybe the Minecraft, and I don't know about Sims, the Killer Sims channel. Maybe? I don't know. But, we can give it a try. But like I said, I've had some people reach out to me before. But let's go ahead and let me pull up the information here as far as what we're doing, is what we're flying to here. And here we go. Not that. I gotta scroll. Hold on. There we go. I have got to zoom in here. This is northern France. That's Germany. Is this it? I think this is it. Here we go. All right, so where are we? Just paint here. We're right there. We're at Paris Charles de Gaulle is where we're going. And we are going to be going if I can get this here. We are going to be going this way. And going here to Abbeville. This was the original flight that I had planned this week, and I was going to do something else on X-Plane 12, and then I had a problem with my hard drive. Things got corrupted. It was taking forever to load. All the data is there, but I don't know. There's something going on with how the directory is, and it's just going really, really slow. So I need to see if I can salvage the data off of it and then try to do some repair work with it or something. But Flight Sim 2020 was not affected because it's on my main drive. It's not on an external drive. So I went ahead and I thought, yeah, why not? Why don't we do the same exact flight from Paris to Abbeville on Flight Sim 2020? And that's what we streamed yesterday. Plus there was all that scenery and stuff that we're able to look at. I almost thought that this said aliens. It's Amiens. Alright, so delete all this stuff here. Why is this? I don't want to ask an AI assistant. I just want to delete it. Okay. So we're going to go downtown Paris first, which is kind of in this direction here. If we start going in the direction of Orly, maybe? That might be a little too much. It should be right around here where the river is at. So we'll head in this direction. And then we will make our way... Whoops. I'm not trying to do that. We'll make our way here to Montdidier. This is interesting. Before we had flown to Beauvau-Tilly, this airport. So we can almost do that on this one too. We can actually do that same exact flight and then over to Abbeville. So, all right. I think I'm going to tune in to 111.6, and we're going to set a radial that's going to take us away from that at 020. That's going to take us here to Beauvais-Tilly, and then from here I should be able to get Abbeville. And let's see here. Yeah, we'll just I'll just center it and we'll just go in this direction, and we'll get lined up and stuff. All right. What else we got here? RP Sims 100%. Did I scan all the documents yourself? No, I did not. I managed to find these online. I don't think they're online anymore. Because I know I've tried to search for them and I haven't been able to find them. So I guess I better make a backup copy of them, huh? Fat Bear, love this old school aeronautical flight sim maps. Yeah, right? Okay, so it was 111.6. So let's nope. 111.6 on nav2. And the VOR, we are going to make that 20. Is that right? Yeah, 020. And then Abbeville is 116.6. I think it was that in Flight Sim 2020 also. 116.6. 36. There we go. And then we'll center this. I can kind of get it started here. We'll just set it to around 360. That'll get it close. So once we get closer and this activates, we can just center the needle and fly directly there. Now the fun thing is to find out where are we here on the map. There we go. Okay, so there is a couple of runways there. We want to go to the left. Alright, so we got a taxiway we can jump on and head off that way, so that looks good. I'll try another search and see if I can pull it up, and then I'll give you a link. Yeah, it's quite possible that it might have been taken down. Yeah, you can contact me on Discord. That'll be good. If anything, I can pull this up. I can put it on the Google Cloud or whatever it is, and you can just download it from there. It's not just that. It's all of them. So I've got the default ones, and then I've got scenery discs 1 through 6, 7, 11, no, 7, 9, 11, 12 is separate. Europe, San Francisco, Japan, and Hawaii. So yeah, all of those are together with the exception of Scenery Disc 12, because that was never released for the Commodore 64. But yeah, just reach out to me on Discord, and I can send you a link. Now, I do have some of the original maps, but I don't have all of them, as far as the paper version. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was the wrong button. Wrong throttle. You know, I came across another YouTuber that did SubLogic Flight Simulator 2. This one was for the Amiga, but all he did was show some gameplay and like the World War II Ace. I did not see him try to land the aircraft. I don't know what it is, but I think I'm the only one that has been flying this old simulator as much as I have been, and the only one that's been going airport to airport, taking off, landing. Heck, I even did a touch of go, too. Alright, flaps. Biohazard Candy Kid! How are you? Nice to see ya. Here we go. Alright, we got ourselves liftoff. Let's not get too high in altitude. We want to be able to see Paris. I see something. Right over here on the left, there's a little brown little rectangle that appears to be a building. So we're going to get a little closer and see what that is. That could be Notre Dame. So Rimple, you mentioned old flight sims. Got a question for everyone. Would you like to see this same flight on Flight Simulator 5? Because I've got the Paris, Microsoft Paris scenery, and then I've got either Europe 1 or Europe 2. So I might be able to duplicate this flight on Flight Simulator 5. If you want to see the same exact flight. Where the hell did that come from? The airport just like boop, just showed up. I'm heading in the right direction though. Because this airport came up. I know I'm heading in the right direction, but wow. That was just like it was not there and then boop, showed up. Autopilot. No, there is no autopilot. There is on the Amiga version, but not the Commodore 64 version. Or Microsoft Flight Simulator 1 or 2. There's no autopilot. The Amiga version is... I'm sorry, it's not based on... Flight Simulator 3 and 4 are based off of the Amiga and Atari ST versions. Although it's still called SubLogic Flight Simulator 2, so... Yeah, so I just wanted to ask in regards to Flight Sim 5, if you wanted to see the same flight, if possible. Are there any other simulators that you would like to see this same flight on? Or would you like to see something different in Europe? I want to do a few more flights like this with the Commodore 64. Maybe a couple more in Europe. One in Hawaii, one in Japan. So, I mean, like, did you want to see this with Flight Simulator 98? With the, like, ATC and stuff like that? Or Flight Sim 2020? I can pull out my retro box and I can do it on there. Flight Sim 2004, I still have that working. That is actually on a retro laptop. It's on a Windows 7 laptop. So that one's fine. And I think I've got Flight Sim 2002 on there also. What I don't have is all of my X-Planes. They were on the external drive. Have I ever tried Flight Assignment ATP? I haven't. I loaded it up, kind of fooled around with it, but I've not actually done anything serious. That is another one that I've actually been wanting to do on the channel for a while. Along with Flight Unlimited 1, 2, and 3, I've been wanting to do something with those for a while. So the brown stick over here, do we get to see what this is? Is this going to be a building of some sort? I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to fly in between a I don't know if it's in the scenery, but the thing that I tried to fly through yesterday, we're not going to do that. We're not going to try doing that. No, it just disappeared. We don't get to see what it was. That looks like a mountain or something over there. I'm looking out the windows. I think the Eiffel Tower is in front of us, because I see another brown stick. Aero Winx Precision Simulator. No, that one I haven't heard. Fat Bear, when you were saying Flight Sim 2, at first I didn't see it. I just saw the little emoji thing or something, and then I saw Sim 2, and I'm like, oh, you want to see Sims 2? .747 simulator. I think there is a 747 simulator for Commodore 64. Another one I've been wanting to do is Solo Flight. Do you remember that one? You do like mail runs and stuff. Solo Flight was the first flight simulator that I flew before SubLogic. That was my first introduction to flying. That's one I've been wanting to do too. I do have X-Plane 12. It's on the external hard drive that went kaput. It's on this right here. I'm probably going to have to re-download X-Plane 12 unless I can get this drive fixed. But now that I got this new computer, I've got some tinkering I need to do with it, because it has a 1 terabyte S.2 SSD chip, but it's got 2 slots, and you can have up to 8 terabytes. So you have to have 4 on one, 4 on another. So what I need to do is I need to make an image of the first of the operating system and stuff, and then get the 4 terabyte SSD stick and copy the operating system over to that. I've never done imaging before, so I got to do research and stuff on that. But once I get that done, I'm going to have my system on a 4 terabyte stick, and I will now have room to have Flight Sim 2020 and 2024. I haven't gotten 2024 because I didn't have room for it. And also, I don't really have the internet bandwidth to be able to download and stream all that scenery. However, my daughter, Nerd Gamer 2000, sure you know of her because we have the longest running show on the channel. She's got unlimited internet where she lives, and with this mini PC, it is very portable, so I can easily just take it with me, take it over to her place, and I can do some recordings and stuff. Can't stream because her internet's really not that good for uploading, but it's great for downloading. I hope that's the Eiffel Tower. It's right now it's just a stick. Come on, Eiffel Tower. Show me the Eiffel Tower. What the heck? Alright, well, I guess that's not the Eiffel Tower. I know the Eiffel Tower is in here because it's in the thumbnail. Keep looking at scenery here and see. Gonna turn our way around. There was a patch that allows you to download the scenery and use it offline for FS 2024. It's some sort of antenna. Never heard of that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to fly along the river until we can find the Eiffel Tower. I know it's in here. That might be the only thing that's in this scenery, but it is here. Oh, that's what you're asking. I have no idea as far as the antenna. There's these random sticks that show up sometimes. From a distance, it's usually, you know, sometimes it's a building and it gets bigger when you get up to it. Other times, it's just a stick. You know, maybe it's a radio tower. Maybe it's just a cheap, easy way for it to represent a building. See, now there's something over there, but I think we passed that already. I do see something else. I think the Eiffel Tower is this direction. And the reason why I say that is there's something right here on the left. I don't know if you see this right here. That is something right there. We got something coming up here too. So we're going to take a look at this, because I think the Louvre is in here also. Why am I at an angle? How come I'm not... This is bizarre. I'm turning to the left and I'm not sure why. Oh, there it goes. Yes? No? What the heck? Look at the turn indicator. It's like, oh, there it goes. That was bizarre. There's the Eiffel Tower. I see it. It's right over here. Right over here on the left side. I see it. It was stuck. It was stuck in a bank. And I was turning the opposite way and it still was stuck at a bank. That was weird. That's cool. That's cool. That will help. That means I would be able to go to my daughter's and plan flights, download the scenery that I need, and then I can take it home, and then I can actually do a stream with it. Because the scenery is already downloaded, right? $430 gigabytes. Okay, never mind. Actually, that's not bad. No, that's a lot of gigabytes. I can do that on with her internet. I can actually do that. Oh, hold on. We got something over here to the right. Let's head over here for a moment. I bought you a Starry. It's in the a Starry. Oh. To help with your stomach if you're having a problem with your stomach. So that might help. I put it in the freezer so it would get cold. Yeah. German chocolate cake as an ice cream. What? Everyone's watching, wondering who's he talking to? Harvey. I'm talking to Harvey. Harvey's over on the side there. No, it's my wife. She's off to the side. Demon's Lover. Hey, that box is actually in the simulator. It's right over here on the right, left. There it is, right there. The little white little box there. That's that box that we flew through yesterday. Well, okay, we didn't fly through it. It sort of kind of crashed into it. Is it my imagination, or did... Okay, for a moment I thought this froze. It didn't look like it was moving, but it's moving. Trying to get us lined up with the scenery that's in front of us. Don't hit the tower. I'm gonna try not to.
I thought you were aiming for it.
What, the tower? No. We don't want to crash into anything this time around. Because then I'd have to, like, start over. I don't want to do that. You all know Shot 97, right? He's been one of my followers for a while too, and he's been on the live, or he's been on the live streams with us. He left a comment on the Flight Sim 2020 thing that got me thinking. Do you know, you folks know that on 2020 you can't fly under bridges. It's like solid. It's invisible. It's like solid. You hit it and yeah. And he made the point that I think that's what happened. It was not actually hollow. It looked like it was hollow, but I think what happened is we wound up smacking into an invisible solid thing, and it threw me up on top or whatever. That's what he was saying, and that makes sense. No, I'm not going to try flying through it on this one. You can't turn off crash detection on this. So if for some reason it doesn't work, it's going to crash and we're going to wind up back at the airport. However, since we were talking about Flight Sim 5, I'll try it on that one because I think that's the one that I did it with. I think Flight Sim 5 is the one that I actually flew through the I call it a box, but it's something. It's called something. I looked it up. I forgot what the name of it was.
On GTA 5, you can fly under bridges.
That doesn't surprise me.
Gray traded out.
My wife says that Gray still plays, has flown underneath the bridges in GTA 5. That guy does a lot of GTA 5.
Yeah.
He's done some stuff with Flight Simulator 2. I should say also, not 2 as in the number 2. It feels like we're barely moving through here. Okay, so Notre Dame, I believe, is this right here. We're the closest to it. I believe this long white thing right here is the Louvre. And then we can see the Eiffel Tower here in the distance. It's this wishbone thing. And I think this is one of the churches or something like that on a hill over here is what I think that is. Darren Vox, hello again. How are you doing? I'm actually doing well, Darren. I told you folks about the computer that I got. It came in the mail today. What I'm going to do is, off to the side, I'm going to be recording an unboxing, and it's not going to be a review per se, but because I bought this for my personal use, I didn't buy it to review it, but it's going to be part of the Killer Awesome Day series, since it's kind of like a show where I do all kinds of different types of things. So I thought that might be kind of good with that, and I can show things like, you know, upgrading the memory and stuff like that. And then kind of show off its abilities as far as emulation, flight sim, and yes, this is Notre Dame, just like I thought it was, because if I could see the 2 little steeple things. Can you see it? It'll become more evident as we get closer. Am I going to fly around the Eiffel Tower? Sure, we can do that. I believe you are seeing the first ever Flight Simulator 2 with the Western Scenery Tour on YouTube. I don't think anyone else has done it. Could be wrong, but yeah, I don't think anyone else has done this. So think about it. This is a grand event. You get to see something that no one else has done. And you get to see it live. Exciting. You. My wife is making fun of me. Rimple says, nope, you are the first. I've been told that I am the retro sim guy. That I've done more retro sims than a lot of people. We're going at 100 knots and it feels like we're crawling at 10. We're not going fast. I'm surprised. Yeah, the retro flight simming is a niche. It's a very small niche. And although, you know, I like X-Plane and I like Flight Sim 2020, I'll be honest, I have more fun with the retro simulators. And that's mainly because you have to kind of go back and use your imagination. Some of it is I'm reliving some old memories that I had. Making new memories of things that I didn't do back in those days. Expanding and enhancing the old simulators in ways that I hadn't done before. So yeah, I have more fun with the retro simulators, but don't get me wrong, you know, the new ones are fun too, especially in VR. For as slow as we're going, I'm surprised we're flying at all. I'm surprised we haven't fallen to the ground. I don't think we're getting accurate readings. I don't think we're really going 100 knots. I think the simulator is not simulating correctly. I'm trying to get us stabilized here. I had one thing of flaps down. It is not easy to get this thing to level. This is why I fly with the keyboard. Because trying to fly it with a joystick, you're doing this stuff. The simulator is very temperamental. You need to be able to make fine adjustments. You can't do that with a joystick. Okay, so right up ahead, that is the Louvre. The little glass pyramid, that might be, I believe that's in here too. We're looking behind us. There is Notre Dame right there. It's all white. Be nice if there was an outline or, you know, something there. What about weather in this sim? There is weather. You just manually add it. Cloud cover is just gray. So you just get a gray sky. There's no rain or anything like that. There are winds. I don't think the winds are simulated very well. They're annoying, if anything, because it blows you too far to the side more than what I think it should. And this sim is hard enough to try to line up to get on the runway. The last thing you need is a wind that's pushing you off to the side. Trust me, it's not, it takes away from the fun. This looks like a white mess here. Maybe that white stick is the pyramid. I don't know. This building here in the distance, that is that building that's across the river from the Eiffel Tower. It's got a name. I can't remember what it was. ILS, yes, it does have ILS, as a matter of fact. There's not a whole lot of airports that have ILS on them in this, but there are some that do. And whenever I do a flight and it has an ILS, I try to make use of it because it's rare that there's an airport with it. So I try to make use of it. I think it was mind-blowing, to be honest with you. From what I remember being a kid, being a teenager, and playing this, I thought it was cool. Here is this open world, and I can fly from city to city, state to state, fly cross country, which is why I did that series from West Coast to East Coast. Because I had done that before when I was a teenager back in the 80s, and I hadn't done, and I wanted to relive that memory. And once again, I'm the only one on YouTube that has done that. Oh, that's the Arc de Triomphe. That's what that is. That is the Arc de Triomphe right there. Alright, I'm going to turn us over to the left to where the Eiffel Tower is at. We're going to go past it and come around, and then there's that little building that's on the hill. So we'll see that, and then we're going to get on course to Abbeville. That is correct, Rimple. Flight Simulator 2 for the Commodore 64 using the SubLogic scenery discs. I went from Los Angeles to New York to the airport that is on the end of Long Island. I can't remember what it was called. There it is! There's the Eiffel Tower! How long did it take? Good question. I'll look that up here in a moment. When the plane decides to level out here. Man, this area is like the Twilight Zone. It just... the plane just doesn't really operate correctly. They should not have put this brown thing here on the bottom. It makes it really hard to see the Eiffel Tower by doing that. I can tell you the simulator is not going slow, because if you look at the time, the seconds are going. So it's not the simulator. There's something, or not the emulator. Sorry, it's not the emulator that's the problem. There's something going on with the simulator. Yes, I am actually moving. We are moving, but it's like moving at a snail's pace. I don't know why. We're flying fast enough to stay in the air. We're going about 100 knots. Just for some reason, it is just going super slow. Now I've got the throttle down low, but that's just so that I can keep our altitude down. Let's not hit the Eiffel Tower. That might be good. Let's go around... Okay, hold on. Come on. Turn. I don't want to hit the Eiffel Tower. Come on, turn. Don't hit? I think you meant don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Come on, airplane, level out here. Jeez. Yeah, for the Eiffel Tower, that's pretty realistic there. How does the sim look at night? Sometimes you can't see anything. So this dark brown that you're seeing right here, the whole ground will look like that, and the sky will be like the background of this dashboard here. Something along those lines. It'll be kind of like that, or it'll just be black. I don't think you'll see the rivers, but the white you'll be able to see. You might be able to see the blue, but the thing is, everything's going to be dark, so you're not going to be able to see it very well. And there are some airports that have the little blue taxi lights, but I've only seen it in the default scenery. Mostly, oh yeah, and because it's dark, because the runways have that dark patch, that dark color, that means that the only thing that you see are the lines. You see the center line is all that you see. As far as airport lights, some of them will have a beacon. It's just a little pixel that does, you know, blink, blink. That's it. There's not a tower or anything like that. It's just like a little pixel that'll show up and blink on and off. Right, exactly. Just the center line. So if you watch the Killer Gamer World Tour, where I fly from airport to airport, starting with Chicago Megs, I fly that based on the simulator time, and I don't change the time, so you'll get to see day flights and you'll get to see night flights also. Yes, that's true. At least you can see something. Okay, we're going to see if we can look at it from the side window here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see the square shape. We might be on the side of it. Here's a radar view. Yeah, so there it is there. We're seeing it from the side. Let's see if I can turn. There it is there. Oh, we got to turn this way anyway, so... Hopefully we don't hit it. I'm trying not to hit it. No, 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 no. It is really... When you lose control like that, it is hard to get control back. It is not easy. You can see we're doing this. So I have to anticipate what the simulator is doing. So I have to make my move before the simulator does it, if that makes any sense. Because there's a slight delay. Well, it's back there. Let's try not going around it again. It's very possible that the Commodore 64 was chugging because of the scenery. That might have been the problem that we were having. Because right now it seems to be fine, and I am losing altitude like big time. A lot of times when you get that stall signal, that is like the kiss of death. Because the sim likes to nosedive. I know it all too well. That's why I threw it into full power. Use that dive to get speed to get back up. Okay, so there's that church on the hill right there. Sideburn Studios, I've been hooked on Flight Sim 2 for the last 2 days. And I've got it going on the Atari 130XE, the C64, and the Amiga 2000. All real hardware on CRT monitors. That's awesome. I don't have room for all that. I'm glad someone does. Okay, well, hopefully we can start getting some altitude here. Okay, so we are on our way to Abbeville now. We're going to be using VOR 2, Nav 2. We want to fly away from it at a radial of 020. So I'm in the process of getting us in the area to where we can intersect that radial. Cyburn's like, I don't have room either. What flight level are you going to cruise at? Probably 2,000 to 3,000. That's... I'm going to be honest with you. The higher you fly, the harder it's going to be to land. Because of the limitation of the scenery. If you're too high, you're not going to be able to get down fast enough and safe enough to land. So I've always tried to keep myself about 3,000 feet above ground level. And honestly, there's no need to really fly any higher than that. You're not going to gain any benefits of fuel or anything like that. You're not going to be able to see scenery further out. It's only going to load up when you get close to it. So you don't want to be 10,000 feet up in the air and the airport just now comes into sight and it's like 8 miles away from you. So, and besides, this is... You can only fly, this is not a Cessna, this is actually a Piper. Microsoft Flight Simulator and the Amiga Flight Simulator are a Cessna. But yeah, you don't want to fly that high anyway. So yeah, I keep it around 3 to 4,000. It depends on what the altitude is. Have I ever encountered any terrain higher than 3,000 feet? I'm going to say yes. Here's the thing with the scenery. There's no mesh, right? Scenery mesh did not come into play until Flight Simulator 2000. That was the big thing. And that's probably the reason why it wasn't optimized very well, why it struggled on machines, was because of that terrain mesh. What you've got on this, let's say you're flying from an area that's like 0 and you're flying into an area that's going to like 5,000 feet, right? What happens, let's say you're flying 2,000 feet, as you start getting closer to that 5,000, the scenery starts to go up like this. So you wind up getting closer and closer to the ground. So it's like the whole ground is like slowly going up like this. So it's important to check the altitude of where you're at and where you're going, so that way you're not flying and the ground just starts to shift up to meet you. And it's like that all the way up to Flight Simulator 98. And mountains are basically a polygon, that that kind of goes up and down. And that's your terrain. That's how the altitude works. I'm sure Sideburn Studios there can confirm there. If you've been flying these sims, you would know that. So let's pull up the flight simulator maps here for a moment. Okay, so the thing to do you're going to want to go over here and look at this right here. This is all available for the scenery that is what do you want to say, for the eastern United States and for Europe and all that. You'll have this here just like you do in the default, and you're going to want to look at your altitude here. So you want to plan based on that, especially when you go to land. You want, this is, a lot of this is IFR. We got scenery loading here. Basically, we're leaving the Paris area, so it's unloading, I guess, or it's loading all the stuff up here. But yeah, going back to this here, you want to check your altitude because you're gonna want to plan your landing. So like we're going to Abbeville, right? That's this up here on the top. So the altitude is 220. So as we land, we kind of want to keep an eye because we're going to touch down around 220, and you want to make sure that you're not too high up because it's hard to determine where the surface is at just with this kind of scenery. Now, for some reason you're flying the western United States, the maps don't look like this. They look like they're hand-drawn, like treasure maps or something. You're going to have this stuff here, where it's got all the individual VORs, and so you would look at your altitude here. Whoa, I lost our radial. It just moved from center, so we gotta turn and catch that. And nav 1 has activated. We are 66 miles away from Abbeville, so we are on our way. How does the scenery load? Do you have to change discs? No, it's on one disc. However, when you are flying from across the United States, for example, no, wait a minute, you know what, I think, no, there's one disc for European scenery, sorry. But the other ones, let's say you're flying from West Coast to East Coast, East Coast to West Coast, whatever, in the United States, you are going to have to change it. And on the emulator, you do Control E. On a real 64, I think it's the Commodore key or the Control key or something. But yeah, you do this. And it loads up the scenery. Flight areas available: Southern England, Southern France, or Northern France, Southern Germany. Press any key to continue. And then based on your X and Y axis, it will load the scenery. Just like that. So if you were leaving Scenery Disk 1 and going into Scenery Disk 2, once you get to the edge of that scenery, you would do that Control E just like I did. Not do Control E first. You'd pull out that scenery disk, put in the other one, do Control E so that way it loads up the disk and says what's on it. And then you continue and then it will load it up. Assuming you're in, assuming you've crossed over and you're in it. Sometimes it lines up, and then sometimes there's like this dead space in between two scenery disks. And the scenery doesn't line up until you cross that dead space. And on the west to east tour that I did, there was an area outside of Texas that was just like that. Give me a second here. I'm going to... pull up a link here. Oh, come on now. Why is that not coming up? Oh, because it was a live stream. I did those live, that's right. No, I didn't. Here it is. Okay, so the West Coast to East Coast is a total of 18 episodes that were live streamed. There is the link right there. So you can click that, and that's the playlist for the Flight Simulator 2 West to East. And it's complete. It's a complete series. Vineyard, Mary's Vineyard, or something like that. That's where I flew to. I missed my radio again. I started one with Flight Simulator 3, which is going to be East Coast to West Coast. And I started that one with Scenery Disc 12, which is Maine. It's that northeastern area, Maine, Maine, New York, New Hampshire. I didn't get too far with that series. But I've got the link here for that one too. Give me a second. This next one has only got 6 videos, but it was streamed also. There we go. I used to stream those on Twitch. Why haven't I continued it? Because there's a lot of flights. I was doing a lot of other videos at the time. Not a whole lot of people were watching Flight Sim 3 as opposed to the Commodore 64. I've noticed that with my Flight Simulator 3 flights, there's not very many people that are interested in it. They do seem to be interested in Flight Sim 4. I'd have to say Flight Simulator 98 and 2000 are 2 of the most popular ones, next to the Commodore 64 and the Amiga, as far as ones that people like to watch on the channel. Flight Sim 5 is kind of in there. Flight Sim 2004, hardly anyone has done 2002, so I get a few people that like watching that. But Flight Simulator 3, that is like one of the worst performing simulators in terms of audience watching. That's not to say that I've given up on it. I've just kind of taken a break from it. And it's also a much longer route as opposed to the Commodore 64 one, where I was doing a more direct route. For the Flight Simulator 3 one, I wanted to show more of the SubLogic scenery, so I was going to fly down the coast into Florida and then back up and towards the north and stuff. I'll get back to it. I don't know when I'll get back to it, but I'll get back to it. Now, that airport that we flew to, that was our first waypoint in Flight Sim 2020, I think that's coming up, because this road right here, that's a road. This white line, I believe that city is like right here, right on the edge of that line. So I think that airport's going to be right around here. Not our destination airport. This is... what was it? The Abbeville Airport. There's 2 runways, so if we see an airport with 2 runways, that's it. You know, the cross-country flight, it's kind of like I started it on some of them, but I didn't just quite get around to it. Like doing more. Like, for example, there's something called All Around the World in 80 Days or 80 Flights for Flight Sim 2004. and FSX for that matter. And I had started doing some of that, and then once again I got caught up with all the other videos that I do. There's another one for Flight Sim 5 that I was also working on. There it is. There's the that Tilly Airport there. So, just as we had planned, we're heading right to it, right by it. So my navigation is on spot. All right, so let's head direct to Abbeville now. We'll fly over the airport. It's not like there's a whole lot of scenery here. What is that? Atari BBS Sideburn Rocks Flight Simulator Russia. So, the guys from Russia? Is that what you're saying? Think you would do some Microsoft Combat Simulator. I have had that request to do some combat simulators. Yes. I don't know when. I'm not sure when. If I do it, I'm going to do it over on Killer Flights. I'll do it over on the Flight channel over there. So things like, if I do Flight ATP, Flight Assignment ATP, I'll do that on the Flights channel. I'll do the Flight Unlimited over on that channel. Microsoft Flight Combat Simulator, I'll do that over there. The Killer Flights channel, it's not just flight simulator, but it's aviation games. So I have a few things on there from like the Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy, and some other stuff. So anything that's kind of flying related, I've been putting over on that channel. Some documentaries that I put together, those are over there. So it's a combination of flight related stuff. I haven't put anything over there recently because I've been deep into my Minecraft project. There you go, the 2 runways. See that? There's 2 runways there. Cut back to this here. This is what we're looking at right here. Remember I told you that we were at a heading of 020? Right there. That's the radio that we were flying. And sure enough, it took us there, didn't it? So now we just need to... We already got this tuned in. All I need to do is center the radio, and then we'll fly directly to it. Once we get to around this area, I'm going to have to move off to the left here so I can try to line up with the runway here. Why is that not working? There we go. Okay, I need to go to a heading of 352. All right, 43 miles to go. Link for that channel. Go to the homepage on Killer TV, scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see links to all the other channels. So you'll see a link to the Flights channel, to Killer Radio, which any music that I feature on the channel, like during Flights or during any of those other shows, that music is on Killer Radio. The Sims, my Civilization channel for the game Sid Meier Civilization, you'll find that there. Minecraft. There's some other ones. Stories. That's like the worst performing one, but that's more of a repository. Oh, Killer Games. So you remember all those games that I was like cramming onto the channel? The arcade games, the pinball games, Game Boy, all that other stuff. That's all been moved over to Killer Games. So yeah, you'll see all those links. So yeah, just subscribe to whichever ones that you're interested in. The only one that I don't have a link to yet is the 4X RTS channel that I've got planned. So real-time strategy, 4X stuff like Age of Empires, Master of Orion, stuff like that. There is a channel that I wanted to develop just for that. Coordinates 867.5309. Haha. A little bit of Tommy Two-Tone, huh? Yes, I'm old enough to know what that song is. Nice little callback, though. I know my 80s. I know my 80s. A child in the 70s, a teenager in the 80s. Back when MTV played music. Oh man, MTV was so awesome in the 80s. That was my radio station. So much variety of awesome music. Loved it. Eight, 6, 7, 5, 3, 9. Jenny, who do I turn to? 8675309. going to be a little bit before we get to the airport, about 34 miles, so I was going to show you some of the stuff I've been working on here. Oh shoot, do I not have that drive hooked up? No, I don't. Alright, hold on, I gotta hook it up here. What am I gonna do after the stream? I'm gonna work on my Minecraft project. That's what I'm going to show you. Okay, this is what I've been working on. This is my this has been my passion project. So this is using this is an editing program. But I've been going through with classic and pre-classic Minecraft, and I've been stitching together these limited maps, and I've been building on them. And each of these maps is a realm, and they all have a theme to it. So this right here is the very first pre-classic Minecraft. You only had this cobblestone to work with. And so I built this city. It's 256 by 256 blocks. So I got little pathways. These are statues here. We've got a skeleton. I think that's a zombie, a creeper, a villager. Then I've got little houses. These over here are trees. I've got some pixel art. So as you can see over here, I got Pac-Man and the ghosts. There's Mario, Yoshi, Star Fox. That's my that's the name I go by. Later I added some water, some lava, and then when you upgrade to the next version, you wind up getting a few more blocks to work with, and that's what this is here. It's an exact copy of this, but what it does is it turns everything to stone, and then I use the blocks, the extra blocks, and then I update it some, give it a little bit more look. And then going this way, this was the next update. It added terrain and stuff. So this is my farming community here. I got a couple of angels here that I made. I've got these wind turbines. I did a statue of a cow. This is a farming community. It's a peaceful farming community. I've got a banana. I've got a, what is that, a strawberry, a pineapple. I've got my lava chicken. Lava. Chicken. These are like little stands and stuff here that, you know, you buy stuff from. I have a big statue of a pig, of a sheep. Here's a few more villages and stuff. I've got little mini statues of animals. That's a cat over there. The mini, that's like a dog and a cat right there. And then I've got a couple of lions on the side here of this rainbow. And then a couple of bunny rabbits. And then it goes over here. And so the next update added more terrain generation. It added a little bit more. So you can see here's the end of the two maps, and so I've got these stitched together. So this here is my military influenced civilization or whatever. So I've got things here, like I've got the Enderman there. I've got a couple more things of a statue. I've got a sword. This is my my armory, and this here is a this is the weapons building, and then I got an armory building here. I've got this goes throughout the entire 9 realms that I've created. This is a monorail. The monorail station, I've got this right here. And then since some of us are, been around for a while, this is Atari 2600. This is from Combat. And so are these tanks. These tanks are from the Atari 2600. Oh, which I didn't show you. The Outlaw game from the Atari 2600. Here it is. I got the 2 cowboys. And I've got the stagecoach right here, and the cactus. And there's the Outlaw again. Like, that's what they look like when they're standing still or they walk around. So you can see Mario a little better there. But yeah, I've got a pair of eyes. I got statues along this area. I got a dragon that I made over here. I got a couple of gas, and then a castle that I made. This here is from the Atari 2600 Air-Sea Battle, right there. And then we start going into an area that I'm still working on developing. This one I'm currently working on right now. These are my risk takers. They are the brave risk takers. And there's a lot more work done on this than what you're seeing. But I have the Sky City that comes across all this. Oh man, there's so much work I'm doing on it. And I got a helicopter. There's a helicopter. I got a plane right here. Whoops. So I got a plane right there. And then over here, this is these are the artists. So a lot of pixel art is going to go here. So I got another plane. I got Donkey Kong over here. I got Star Fox right there. I've got a boombox. My wife requested this. She said, make a boombox. So I'm like, okay. So there we go. And then over here, these are the fishermen. This is when they first added water. So we got lakes and stuff here. And I think we crossed into we're in another map, so there is more development with the upgrade. You can see some of the stuff that I've done here, and we keep going around here. We're now in another map, another upgrade. They started adding lava, so I got lava pools. Yeah, so we're in upgrade 12A-_02. I did a pickaxe. And then this is the 9th realm up here, I believe. So you can see how the terrain is getting much taller now. So it started off really simple, and it started, you know, getting more and more. This is my city realm over here. So this is the 9th realm. So I made some skyscrapers. So I've got more that I'm going to be doing. I showed a picture of this on Killer TV that I was doing. This is a plane that's just coming out of the ground, is what that is. In reality, I didn't have enough room to put the whole thing, so I had to dig down to get space. But this is supposed to be a park right here. And I've got a couple more skyscrapers, or 3, that I was starting to build right here. So these are the 9 realms, and then it gets bigger. It gets to the point where everything out here gets filled. It's just... it's crazy on what I'm doing. But that's the project that I've been working on. And it's been taking a lot of time, but it's over on Killer Cubes. I've got a series that shows me building this world. And it's getting a little bit of a following. Not a huge following, but it's getting a little bit of a following. But yeah, this thing is basically a time capsule where it's going to be like think about the center of civilization, like the birth of civilization is like right here in the center, and then from the center it's like things get more and more developed. So like in later versions of Minecraft that are a lot more detailed and stuff, I can always go back into the center, you know, that little time capsule that kind of shows, oh, this is what it looked like from the very beginning. And I've always wanted to have something like that. So, and it's taken a lot of work. As you can see all the work that I've done on it. We built this city on Minecraft blocks. Ray Kit, hey, how you doing? There's a lot of talking here. Hold on, I gotta catch up. What am I doing after the stream? Okay, we already answered that. Flight Sim 2 is one of the least pirated games. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, without the manuals and charts, yeah, you can follow the white lines and that'll get you to some cities, but yeah, you're right about that. Ray Kit, how we doing? We're doing great. I'll be doing a video, but I have my new computer. It's a mini PC. It's a Ryzen 9. I've watched some reviews. It's really good with emulation. It will play Flight Sim 2024, so I can't wait to get that set up. It's going to be easily portable, so I'll be able to take it over to my daughter's house and do some downloading and stuff. We are 10 miles from the airport, so we should be able to see the runways here pretty soon. Atari BBS, is this being played on an Atari or a Commie? It's on the Commie 64. Did I build this city on rock and roll? You know, I do have some original music that I had AI put together for me, just with prompts. I mean, I didn't just say, hey, make me some music. There was a specific type of music I was trying to develop for the series, And I know there's some people that just don't like AI music, but let me tell you my experience with it. I can't find what I'm looking for in the YouTube library. The type of music that I am trying to get, I can't find. So I know what I'm trying to get in my head, and AI helps make that a reality. So AI is a tool for me to be able to visualize what, you know, my projects and what I'm trying to do. So that's why I use it. It's a paintbrush. It's allowing me to do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do. That's our airport, by the way. Let's start dropping some flaps. Put that city in flight sim so we can fly to it. Will we be able to join me on that Minecraft map? That particular one, no. I might be able to do a classic Minecraft map, a separate one that I can add in. I haven't gotten to the multiplayer test phase yet of classic Minecraft, but if I can get it to work, I would like to open up the multiplayer test and have people join in creative mode and build things, and then that map would be added to, it's called a poly world is what it's called. So yeah, that it's going to take me a little bit to get to that, and I've got to do some research in regards to getting that where there is a way to do it, because I've seen other YouTubers do it, but I've got to do the research to get it working and stuff. Killer Gamer Vaughn, well, Vaughn Shep, not Sheep, but yes, that is me. Yeah, I'll check out my Discord after the flight. Ah! We're slipping! That's not the direction I want to go. I was trying to line myself up here. Go back the other way. Now, you remember what we said in regards to the altitude? It was 220, remember that? So we're going to have to keep an eye on the altimeter here. We're currently 2,000 feet above ground level. Now, I don't want to get too low yet, because I'm not going to be able to line up. I'm not going to be able to see it very well if I'm not high enough. But this should be a good altitude. We're about 4 miles from the airport. Yeah, that's okay. I figured the autocorrect or something was doing that, or you were typing 1E and 2 came out. No, it's fine. So how do we line up with this? We're going to have to turn a little bit at a time. Just a little bit at a time. We got to keep it in our sights. And just as it starts to move to the side there, we continue to adjust. This is why I fly with a keyboard with this old one, because I need to make minor adjustments, and I can't do that with a joystick. It just goes all over the place. It's a mess. Almost there. We're under 1,000 feet. So you remember what I told you in regards to the altitude. You need to know what the altitude is, because you can't really see where, you know, how far up from the ground you are. You've got to use your instruments. $200. $100. Kind of hard to stay, you know, stay lined up. All right. Let's get off the runway here. Well, there we go. That is our first ever European flight on Flight Simulator 2. SubLogic Flight Simulator 2 for the Commodore 64. The first ever on this channel, and possibly YouTube for that matter. And live streamed to add to that. So, big event, I guess. Historical events. You were here for it. But glad you folks have been here with me on this flight. A little bit longer than what I was expecting, 2.5 hours. But with that scenery in Paris, that was really lagging. We were really kind of chugging along on that one there, and I think it's because of the scenery. But hey, you got to see Paris and a little bit of the scenery that's going on there. Just about crashed, so we had a little bit of daredevil flying there. But glad y'all all enjoyed it. I think I'm probably going to take a week off as far as the streaming. I know I haven't been streaming a lot, but I think I'll take a week off so that way I can plan for the next one, and that'll give me some time to plan the Flight Simulator 5 flight, and hopefully I can do the same thing that I did on this one, fly from Paris and go to the same airport. So if we can do that, we'll do that, but I'm going to take a break there so that way I can get that set up properly, and we'll live stream it and we'll have some fun. But yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on another stream. Have a killer awesome day and a killer awesome weekend, everyone.